All right, y'all. This part two, man. This part two to the John Gotti story, man. You came here to Unique Mecca Audio to get these stories. I'm gonna give it to you. This is part two to the John Gotti story. So don't say I didn't tell you. Let's go. Let's get the ride going. All right. All right, Unique Mecca Audio, man. This part two to the John Gotti story, man. Just so you understand, we giving to you raw and uncut over here, man. This ain't to disrespect nobody. And I'm going to keep this one short and to the point because y'all said I was dragging it out too long. Some people didn't like the way I ride. So I'm going to go on and cut it short, and y'all let me know in the comments if you want it short or long. However you want it, I'm going to give it to you. All right, I gave you the recap. You know, yesterday, John Gotti wanted to put a ticket in. The game was getting ready to start, so he yelled down a tier. And, over a dude that was already put his ticket in. So dude said, hold up, wait your turn. He's like, man, I'm John Gotti. I'll do what I want to do. You know that New York arrogance, So dude said, man, I'm not trying to hear that. So a DC brother heard him talking, because it was the Philly brother that ran the ticket, So a DC brother heard him talking. And he got involved and said, yo, hold up, wait your turn. And John Gotti called him out his name, called him a monkey. Next thing you know what I mean? The next day, to speed it up, the next day, dude comes out, they open the cells up. When they open the cell up, John Gotti standing, he with all the Mexican mafia, all the Mexican mafia holding him down, So now they come out the joint and, DC wasn't trying to see that. They don't care if their numbers is outnumbered or what. And everybody will tell you that about DC. They going to go. Because like I always say, as long as you fight, you won, So, dude wound up, wait until he got away from the little circle a little bit with the Mexican mafia, and he snuffed them, bang, bang, and they start to fight and everything jumps off. Now, when it jump off, the Mexican mafia done got involved. This thing done got so crazy that even the ABs got involved. The ABs and Mexican mafia, they teamed up, but it wasn't no ABs on the tier, So being there was no ABs on the tier, it was just the Mexican mafia in DC, but it was more Mexican mafia than DC. But, a dude got it in with John Gotti. They fought, and John Gotti told him, He said, yo, we going to fight, every day. We ain't going to get away with that. You know what I'm saying? And, they fought, but dude beat him to a pulp, and John Gotti stood up, shook his hand as a man and said, man, you got that. You gave me an ass whooping. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it is. I might ad-lib a little bit here and there, but, just enjoy the story and stop nitpicking. This is all facts. Like I said, I can bring brothers up here that was actually in the joint, and I'm going to bring somebody up that was in the riot to tell you about a couple of riots in the federal penitentiary. So if y'all want to know about the riots in the federal penitentiary, put the emoji up and let me know in the comments, and I'm going to bring my man up here. I got my man from D.C., Big Red. Official gangster out of D.C., so you know what it is. I'm going to introduce y'all the characters that you never dreamed of. I'm going to introduce you to Big Red, DC's finest, older dude. He was always in his like 50, 60, but always rumble with the 20-year-olds whenever they got into something because he hold the car down. Now, back to John Gotti. Got to ride just a little bit, so relax. Gunshots for the ride. All right, let's go. So they sitting there and they get it on with him. Then the police lock them down. Then when they open the doors back up, Now they come out, it's only 4 DC dudes on the tier, but it's more Mexican mafia. So they went to rumbling. They went to rumbling against the Mexican mafia. So I ain't talking about with no hands. I'm talking about they pushing knives. They carrying on. So that's why I tell you youngins, if you ain't trying to go to prison, if you ain't trying to be a part of this life, get out the street, don't even play no games, because any little thing you do could wind you up there and you got to deal with stuff like this. So now they in there rumbling, and, I'm going to keep it 100, and DC will keep it 100, they lost that one. They lost that one, but that was just the beginning. They lost that one. It was only 4 DC dudes there, 3 of them took it pretty bad. The 4th one, the main one that, went toe-to-toe with Gotti was a big dude, I ain't going to say no names, but, he buff and he put his work in. He got a hell of a story, too. I'm going to talk to a couple of my good brothers, the representatives from DC, see if I could even tell some more of his stories. Because like I said, I don't violate no codes in no form or fashion, not even on YouTube. So I check with the brothers before I do anything. But then now, so, dude big got size, so he fared pretty well in the little ride in the unit. You know what I mean? And then the other three, they didn't do so well, but they took an L. You know what I mean? Big shout out to taking an L. Big shout out to taking the L. Big shout out to taking the L. You know what I mean? Now, just so you understand, we all take an L. I told y'all, like I said, about me getting busted in the head. I mean, all that. I got to tell you, I got the scar on the face, too. You know what I mean? I got to tell y'all about all that. Because like I said, ain't no shame in my game, man. We all take an L. That's what war is about. We got war wounds. You know what I mean? Just like I got war stories. Just sit back and enjoy the stories. You know what I mean? So now, it got so big that being that D.C. went up against the Mexican mafia, that joint spilled all the way over into every federal prison where now, wherever DC saw, like the Mexican mafia, Serranos or whoever, it was on. You understand what I'm saying? It was on. I'm talking about knife fight. I ain't talking about no fist fight like you on the block, giving no fair one. No, it was on. So what the administration did is they wound up putting a separatist with DC and all the Mexican mafia and all that, because even some of the Texas family got involved. You understand what I'm saying? Holding John Gotti down because, no disrespect, but it's like in the prison, you got the Spanish people, the Mexicans and all that. They roll with the Mexicans roll with the white guys, basically. You know what I mean? The Mexicans roll with the white guys and the white guys roll with the Mexicans, which is crazy. It's like everybody roll with each other against the blacks. And the only good thing is that, DC put their whole prison system into the federal system, so their numbers were strong and the men from the street is strong. So that's what really shaped it and pushed the blacks forward to stand up to a lot of this, racism, because when you go on the West Coast, it's all Mexicans and Native Americans and, islanders. But when you come on the East Coast, listen, when I first got locked up in Allenwood, it was only one Native American, but we just called them Indians, keeping it 100. So no disrespect. I'm just using the terminology that we use. It was only one Indian on the joint. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not even going to front. I'm not even going to say his name, though. But he took a vicious L over there in Allenwood. We in Allenwood, and we in the day room, and dude walked out the day room, and the Indian came in and changed the channel because it was like early morning, like 6 o'clock before breakfast, but they didn't know that this TV hog was in there. But he just walked out for a minute to go get his cup and spoon to take to the kitchen. By the time he come back in, the Indian watching something, so he goes and he changes it, and the Indian changes it back, and he punched the Indian in the face, and they get to fighting. Now, as they fighting, it's crazy because the Indian never threw a punch. I don't know what it was. He never even threw a punch, but he kept walking into the punch. The black dude just busy punching them all in his face. Matter of fact, dude from Ohio, boom, 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 boom. I mean, he turning it on him. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. But that was only one Indian out there. Then when I wound up in Lum Park a year later, they literally had about 200-300 Indians. Native Americans. I don't want you to think I'm, being derogatory, but they had about 200-300 Native Americans out there. When I was on the East Coast, it was only one. And like I said, he got beat up and used his face as a shield and just walked into the punch and took it. You know what I mean? He ain't turn around, he ain't run, he ain't do nothing. He stood there and took his ass whooping until the police came in there and broke it up. But now, back to this, riot with the Mexican mafia in D.C. It spilled over so big. You understand? So y'all understand. It spilled over so big that every prison, they had to separate the D.C. blacks from the Mexican mafia and, the Serranos and all that, because they go up on them. You know what I mean? This happened a number of different times. I'm going to tell you a few different stories. You know what I mean? But it wasn't nothing nice, man. It wasn't nothing nice. They go hard, family. Just letting you know. So every jail you went in, this is what go on. I was in ADX. When I'm in ADX, right, I'm already locked in the cell. There's only 14 of us in the tier. They only put 10 men on the tier, So they keep 4 cells. They keep 4 joints open, 4 cells open. Cells open at all time, all the way in the back in case emergency happen in another prison. They got to lock another, what they call me, super aggressive. You know what I mean? That's what they labeled me, super Yo, it's so funny, these labels they give us, man. They labeled me super aggressive. So they kept 4 cells open for the super aggressive people that's in the regular USP in case something happened, they got somewhere to throw them real quick. Because they always make room and anticipate they pay chess with things. So now, you know, we in ADX and we already locked in a cell 23 hours a day, and they tell us that we on lockdown. Now we don't get our hour a day because it's going down. You know, just like I might even tell y'all about the one. I'm gonna bring a Serene up here. I might even tell y'all about the one when the when the California MA and Texas MA went at it, and they had to, you know, put separatists on them and lock the whole jail down and all that. You know what I mean? Big rest in peace to Champ.
Mecca what? Mecca audio.
Gunshots for Champ. Gunshots for Champ. Gunshots for Champ. You know what I mean? But a round of applause is definitely in order. You know? You know, they're definitely in order. Now, you YouTube haters, y'all can go ahead and hate on this statement right here. Big shout out to Champ, because Champ is the one that started the California MA. You know what I mean? You ask the brothers out in California, so you know my knowledge is real. You know, I lived it. Me and Champ was in the ADX together, and, you know, he told me about, you know, what it was like growing up. You know, we used to just kick it. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you know, everybody in there, because we all got along. You know, just like we was in there with, you know, Barry Mills, you know. You know, we didn't have to like each other, but we respected each other. You know what I mean? But, you know, Champ was a good older dude, man. When I met him, he had to be in his 60s when I met him, you know, back in the 90s. But, you know, rest in peace to Champ. But that's how that go. But it was a big separation between everybody. You know, big separation between everybody. And to show you how dirty they play, right? To show you how dirty they play in Marion. Because like I said, they had a fight in there where you had 4 DC dudes fighting about 10, you know, Mexican mafia. And the Mexican mafia, they took the one on, you know, they won that. Big gunshots. You know what I mean? They won that. You know, got to give them their props. You know what I mean? We got to keep it where it's at. But it definitely got back now. It definitely got back. So now they got an old cruddy captain in there. You know what I mean? So what the captain do is, the captain put, you got a tier in Marion. Y'all was in Marion, y'all know. They had a tier in Marion, I block. I block is where they had, you know, all the DC dudes. You know, so they had one cell open up there in I block. And now, don't forget, the Mexican Mafia and the Aryan Brotherhood, they roll with John Gotti to hold him down. John Gotti even tried to put a hit out on the dude that knocked him out and tried to get the ABs involved, you know, to put a hit on the dude. He didn't knock him out. Let me correct that for y'all say that whooped him. You know what I mean? He ain't knock him out because John Gotti fought. You know what I mean? And the crazy part is while they was fighting, John Gotti was still calling them, yeah, nigga. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on, we gonna do this, nigga. You know, John Gotti, y'all. And that's why we all respected him. And y'all on YouTube world talk about you don't respect him. The reason why I respect John Gotti is it ain't so much respecting John Gotti. Let me get that right. It ain't about respecting John Gotti. I respect the fact that John Gotti thumbed his nose at the government, and he fought the government, and he fought for what he stood for. That's what I respect John Gotti for. If you can't respect a man for standing up on his 2 feet, you ain't got to like him. You ain't got to agree with him and his views. You understand what I'm saying? But you got to respect, you know, a man that's on man time. You got to respect a man that's on man time, you know, and that's what it is. But, you know, they wind up putting a white dude from Arizona, you know, AB, up there in our block, where they know they got all DC dudes. You know what I mean? This is what the captain did. He already know what's going to happen. So as soon as they opened the door for their little 1 hour record day, they came out, they beat blood from this dude. They stomped him out. They took TVs, because we had little 13-inch TVs in the cell, black and white TV with the USB knob and the knobs on the side. Big shout out to the old TVs. Big shout out to the old TVs. Big shout out. Now, calm down, y'all. Calm down. Now, I know y'all saying, oh, man, them little black and white TVs with the knobs on it. Yo, when you in the cell looking at 4 walls, man, that joint is like a big, you know, plasma TV on the wall in 2023, you know? But, you know, it was a blessing. But they took the TV, smashed it on his head. You know, they tore him up. But they had to keep the DC and Mexican mafia separated in every prison in America. You know, so that's why everybody respect DC, because wherever they go, they didn't put DC separation from, you know, the GDs. You know, they get separated from everybody because if anybody crossed their path or violate them, they put their work in. I got to give the props where it's due. And anybody that was in the prison system would tell you, DC blacks go hard. Dude want to fake and talk that, yeah, I'm from New York. You understand what I'm saying? I'm keeping it 100. You understand? They went hard. But don't forget, let me show y'all now, we had our men, you know, of honor that went hard. Make sure you cop my man Lou Sims' book, man. You know, his interview in Felon magazine. You could pick it up at Legends Lounge over there on 7th Avenue, or you could go to the Queen of Harlem shop, you know what I mean? And cop that. But, you know, this is one of our legends that went hard, that stood on man time. Every state got a man that stands on man time. Let's get that straight. It ain't like, you know, all the men, only men from D.C., only men from New York. And no, they had Chicago, you know, men. You know, a big shout out to Shorty Dirt, you know what I mean? Shorty Dope, you know, out there. You already know Lil Dirt people. You know, he was official, you know what I mean? Official, you know. But like I said, you know, we had Booby from the Booby Boys in Miami. Yeah, I mean, come on, son. We had everybody, you know. Like I said, we got my man Biz from Philly. You understand? We got everybody, man. But, you know, listen. Don't go to prison, man. That's all I'm going to tell you. It ain't worth it, man. Don't even go to prison. You know, I've been up here 15 minutes already trying to keep this short because they say they don't want me rambling, so it got me out my zone, but I want y'all to see what it looked like to give it to you short. That's right to the point what happened. They put a separation on everybody. You understand? With DC and thing, that went on for about 2 years where they couldn't even be on the same compound, meaning in the same prison yard together behind that. Cop the book and roll in Harlem. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and don't forget the Cash App is on the screen. Like Pretty Gangster said, $10 ain't gonna hurt nobody. Let's just keep it 100. Now I'm gonna give you my little outro so you understand what this is. Check out the pictures and see how I party, man. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.